If you don't have one, then it doesn't matter, you don't really need one if you don't have one to hand, so don't worry too much about that. So a warm welcome to you all. Thank you for choosing to practice with me this evening. As I'm sure you know by now, we are doing a heart opening sequence. So lots of reasons I was kind of compelled to do that for today's practice. To start off, Venus is going to become visible in the sky this weekend, so it's a really, really powerful time for shifting energy in terms of relationships and love. And also Venus has been in retrograde for what seems like forever, so recently if you've been feeling a shift in terms of your feelings towards others, your feelings towards yourselves, your relationships, then that is a strong reason as to why. I struggle with heart opening as a practice, and I actually realised this was because I've not actually done any heart opening classes with you, focusing solely on this, and it's because it's something I struggle with myself, but we're all mending our broken hearts every day, so it's definitely something that we have to work through. So we're going to start off in a gentle child's pose, so you can take your cushions and pillows and just leave them to the side for now. And we're going to bring ourselves onto our knees, bringing the knees close together for a variation on child's pose. So if you can, bring the knees quite close, sit the hips back onto the heels, and then just nice and gently bringing yourself, your chest down towards the floor. And just take a moment to bring the forehead to meet the mat. If you are not quite there yet, you can stack your hands, or you can use a pillow to rest your head. But try and allow the body to give in and relax down onto the floor, so we're not holding, forcing or straining. And then just take a gentle rock with the pelvis side to side. Just moving and easing into the hips, to the body. This is really quite a protected position, which I wanted us to start in, just to allow the body to feel safe to open up. So maybe you have your hands resting either side of your head. Maybe you'd like to take the arms along the legs, resting down on the floor. And begin to deepen the breath into the belly. So really aware of the chest and the belly in contact with the thighs. So that when we breathe, when we inflate, we really feel that shift, that movement against our legs. Just take note of how your body feels, the sensations that you're aware of when you come into this protective child's pose. Notice feelings of safety, security, and grounding. All of your internal organs and your heart protected here in this position. Now it's very normal when we come through our heart opening sequence to have your mind wander to past experiences, places or things. I don't want you to judge or criticize your mind for going there. Just take notice, maybe using this as an indication as to what you need to heal from. Placing a hand either side of the head, slowly rolling yourself all the way up to sitting on the heels, and just take some shoulder rolls just to open up through the shoulders to begin with. So we are going to be taking most of the poses in a yin kind of format this evening. So we are holding the poses for about 3 to 5 minutes. It's really slow and restorative practice. So coming over onto your hands and knees for me, just spread the palms wide. And we're coming in to thread the needle. So take a deep breath in and reach one arm up to the sky, gaze at the fingertips. And then as you exhale, thread that hand all the way underneath the other arm, bringing that shoulder blade down to the floor. Now this becomes a heart opener when we send that top arm around and loop it just at the base of the spine. Or perhaps it's threading through and holding onto the top of the thigh. Make sure your head is resting down on the floor. We're not holding the head in air and space. We've released it to the earth. The hips are high. And we're feeling that twist stem from our mid-spine. And then that top shoulder is rolling open, opening through the heart. We're holding here for 10 deep breaths. Just as we start to work through some rotation in the upper back. Maybe you're gazing up, maybe you're gazing down, depending on the mobility in the neck. So a lot of the time we feel we have to hold our bellies in. Especially in your yoga practice, when you breathe in, feel your belly inflate, allow it to stick out. And then as you exhale, it naturally draws back in. So we're filling ourselves with air on the in-breath. And then emptying our lungs on the out-breath. Four more deep breaths here, really trying to slow down as you breathe in. And slow down as you breathe out. Last breath together here. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale to release that top shoulder back down towards the mat. Hand comes down, we uncurl the body. Restacking the spine in all fours. Just check in with how the back feels. Maybe you want to move through a cat and a cow just to massage through the back. Let's take that through on the other side. Inhale, send the opposite arm high. Deep breath in. And then as you exhale, we thread that hand underneath, drawing one shoulder down to the floor, leaving the hips high. Then that top arm can either stay resting, hand to the floor, or we send that arm all the way open, threading it round the small of the back, or potentially holding on to the inner thigh. So coming into whatever position you need to get that twist, to get that opening through the chest. And with all of these postures that we come into this evening, really direct the breath, yes, into the belly, but importantly, into your heart. Feel your heart full of air, full of oxygen, so that as it beats and pumps blood around your body, that blood is nutritiously full of fresh oxygen, fresh air. Notice if you feel any resistance to holding these We are so dynamic and we live very fast-paced lives. When we ask ourselves to slow down, sometimes there is a resistance, a discomfort. So breathing into this twist, we slow the breath down for 4 more deep breaths. Last deep breath together here, breathing in and breathing out. We roll that shoulder back down to the floor, using the hand to push ourselves up. Take a moment to enjoy this transition as we move through cat and cow. Massaging through the muscles in the back. Sending an awareness to the space in the heart. What do you feel here? And then we're going to release ourselves all the way down onto our fronts. Coming all the way down. And we're going to come into Sphinx pose. So I'd like you to bring the forearms down to the floor. And you want to bring the palms down, the elbows just underneath the shoulders. And I want you to feel as if you're pulling yourself along the mat. So there's that sense of pulling your heart, pushing it forwards. A retraction and a squeeze of the shoulder blades. An opening of the throat. A nice gentle back bend. Some of you might like to stay here for your back bend. Some of you might like to come up into seal pose. So you're going to take the hands a little bit further forward than the shoulders and a little bit wider than the shoulders. And then you're going to push yourself up. So it's kind of like a gentle cobra. We're not looking to have the hands directly underneath the shoulders. And as these poses are yin, we're working through the yin internal energies. We're not looking for any searing pain, no pinching, no burning, but just that sweet spot. So you might opt to take the legs a little bit wider here, and maybe you'd like to bend at the knees, bringing the feet up. Now those of you that are used to practicing might feel an urge to really push here, to maybe throw your head back to your toes, but only move into each pose just as much as feels comfortable. So even though there will be that sense of releasing tension, we don't want to ever create a sensation of pain. You might find that having the knees bent is a bit much for you. Maybe you have the legs resting down. Maybe as we start to open up through the connective tissues, you want to walk the hands a little bit closer to the body, making sure the shoulders remain dropping down in the back. Notice where you're squeezing, where you are holding tension. Maybe your glutes. Can you switch your glutes off? Your jaw, can you relax your jaw? Your heart, can you soften your heart? Staying here for 4 more deep cleansing breaths. Allow your mind to stay focused on what you can feel. Taking one more deep breath in here. And then as you exhale, softly allowing yourself to slowly come down. Straightening out those legs, coming into crocodile. Just to rest here with the inner sides of the feet on the floor. And the forehead resting on the hands. Taking a deep cleansing breath just to reset the body. Coming into starfish now, so coming to activate the body, bringing the hands underneath the shoulders. You're going to send your right hand out to the side. So bringing that arm to shoulder height and then turn that arm so the hand is facing upwards. If that's providing you with any sort of discomfort, you can just place the hand down. So from here, taking the left hand and pushing that hand into the floor, we're going to roll towards that right arm. Left foot has the option of bending and placing that foot on the floor to support you in space. So this is a powerful chest opener. Really good to do if you spend a lot of time sitting, working at a desk, driving, texting. Most things we do really bring the shoulders down and in. And this is taking them in the opposite direction. So really good, really cleansing to do for your body on a physical level. On an energetical level, we are opening up through the heart chakra and allowing ourselves space to breathe. You might be staying here with that left hand supporting you on the floor. Maybe you feel space enough to take that hand behind and interlace hands together. It might take you a while to find the hands. Maybe there's not the space for you to do that in your practice. In which case, don't force, don't strain, don't criticize your body for being anywhere other than where you are today. So in this position, I naturally go to clench my glutes. So just check for yourselves. If you're clenching there too, just see if you can release and relax the bottom. Release and relax the jaw. Release and open the heart. Just giving yourself permission to be here and to be still for the next 6 deep breaths. Taking one more deep breath in here.
And then as you exhale, we're going to unclasp the hands if they're clasped. And really slowly, as if in slow motion, bringing your bodies back down to meet the mat. Sliding that right hand in and just rolling through the shoulders. Checking in with sensations, with tingling. And then we repeat this on the other side. So sending your left arm out to the side, shoulder height. And then turn the arms, the hand is facing upwards, if that's comfortable for you to do so. Gazing over at the right hand now, we're going to begin to push into that right hand, rolling over onto our side. So you might not move very far, you might stay here and think this is more than enough for your body in this space and time. Maybe you can bend that top leg and just place it on the floor, just in aid of support of this chest opener. But in yin, we never want to rush into any pose. We never want to go to our maximum straight away, which is one of the hardest things about a yin practice, because we all live in the yang most of the time. Maybe you can feel that for yourself, that kind of urge to want to get more out of the pose or push more into the pose. That's totally normal. Forgive yourself for that. Just notice how the connective tissues just begin to soften. How they begin to morph and mold as we hold this pose. Just for that little bit of extra time. Just having a little scan through your body once again. Where are you clenching? Where are you contracting the muscles? Perhaps inner thighs. Perhaps quadriceps, fronts of thighs. Maybe you need to tell those body parts that it's okay to release and let go. So you start to feel more comfortable in this pose. Perhaps you want to take that top arm and either just allow it to kind of fall behind the back. Maybe you're taking both hands and interlacing them together just to intensify this in the right way for your body, for your joints. So really softening into this position now without force, without strain, without any expectation of yourself to be or to do anything different. Which is one of the hardest things to do. As we always project into the future. So really just allowing yourself to be completely content with where you are. Because where you are and what you're doing is perfect. Maybe closing off the eyes if you haven't done so already. And starting to deepen the breath into your heart center. As we breathe deeply for 6 more breaths here. one more deep breath. And as you exhale, as if in slow motion, you bring yourself back down to the mat. Not rushing this transition, but enjoying every moment of it. As you bring the hands under the shoulders, and maybe you want to just roll them round. And then when you're ready, pushing up onto your hands and coming to your knees. So we're moving into melting heart pose. Now this is one of the most challenging poses for me in my practice, so please don't rush this for yourselves and be really kind to your bodies and your emotions as we come into this position. We're going to hold it for 5 minutes, so don't rush to get there straight away. We're going to take it slow. So I'd like you to just come onto your hands and your knees. And the knees are going to be hip width distance apart. And then just start to pad the hands forwards. Now you might know this as puppy pose, but in yin we call it melting heart, because quite literally we take a deep breath in and on the exhale allow the heart to melt. Now some of you might bring your chest straight away to the floor. Some of you might wish to bring a cushion or a bolster and bring your chest down for some support. Or perhaps you're just going to work with that in your own time. So it really is personal to you and your mobility through your shoulders and your openness through your chest. If this really is unbearable for you, you can come just back into a regular child's pose. So finding your version of this heart opener, we're going to deepen the breath into the heart here. Just notice any sensations that you become aware of. Any tightness, any physical restriction that you feel in your body. So pretty much all of us have heartbreak that we need to heal from. And in moving through a heart opening sequence, we really provide the space for ourselves to release and to heal. A lot of the time we think this is a healing that has to take place from somebody else. But a lot of the time, this is a healing that has to take place from within. So maybe you feel some resistance in this pose in your neck or in your jaw. And know that that's okay, but also know that you can soften. You can release. Perhaps the tightness is in your upper back, shoulders and arms. Know that that is perfectly normal. But it's also okay to release. And of course, you might feel some restrictions in the chest, in the heart space here. And just knowing that that's perfectly natural. But it's okay to release. Notice now how your breath has potentially changed, shortened, and really try with direct intent to breathe into your heart. We hold this pose for 5 more deep breaths. Taking one more deep breath in. And then as you exhale, just start to walk your hands back, bringing your hips down to your heels and resting in a child's pose. Just enjoying that soft release for the chest here. As you melt the heart down towards the earth. Really being aware of any sort of different emotion that arises, comparing how you feel when you are in the melting heart pose compared to sensations that you're aware of here in your protected and safe child's pose. So different. Maybe it feels good to keep the arms stretched out. Maybe you want to bend the arms just to relieve the shoulders a little bit. You can take the hands down by the sides of the legs as well to really release. Just soften. And slowly starting to activate the body. Bring the hands just underneath the shoulders, push the floor away, and come up onto your knees. So we're coming down onto our backs now. If you've got a cushion or a pillow close by, it's going to come in really handy for this chest opener. So coming onto your sit bones, and we're going to bring the cushion or the bolster. If you've got cushions, you might want to fold them in half, just so you've got a little bit of height to work with. You can also stack books instead if you want more height than the pillow is giving you. So this is going to sit almost where the bra strap would sit. So just gauging where that is for yourself, we're going to bring the chest down onto the bolster, onto the mat. And we're going to just allow the head to drop back. Bring the soles of the feet together just to open up through the hips as well. And then bring the hands to rest on the belly. So this might be a little bit too much, you might need to stack a pillow underneath the head as well. And we're just going to work through with a few breaths into our belly here. So take a deep breath in and feel the belly rise. Exhale, feel it soften. And again, breath in, feel the belly rise. Exhale, feel the belly soften. This time, as we inhale, the belly rises, and so do the hands and the arms, as if we're inflating the space in between the arms with air. And then as we exhale, just allow the fingertips and the arms to open wide, almost in a Y shape, just higher than the shoulders. So this is what makes this a heart opener. This position is this outstretched position with the arms. And I'd like you to close off the eyes. Notice any sensations, any feelings of vulnerability here. It might not be vulnerability, it might be a resistance, an anger, a sensation of shame or hurt. The whole spectrum of emotion is welcome here. Without judgment or criticism, we acknowledge and we breathe through it. Softening and opening our hearts up to the sky. Relaxing and softening into this heart opener for 10 more breaths. Last few moments here. Taking one more deep breath in. Exhale to release, and then softly drawing those knees back together. You're going to bring the arms in closer to the body. Begin to lift the hips off the floor. We're going to slide the cushion, the pillow, down so it's just sitting on the back of the pelvis. And we bring our feet to rest on the floor in a suspended bridge. Again, here you might like to use blocks or books underneath the pelvis to suspend you a little bit higher. You can suspend the pelvis in space. But we're not looking to float and to hold the hips. We're just asking that they sit a little bit higher again, you might wish to bring the hands to the belly. We take another 3 deep breaths in here. Inhale, feel the belly rise. Exhale, allow it to soften. Inhale, notice the movement of the hands on top of the belly. And exhale, feel them fall. This time as we breathe in, once again, breathe into that space in between the arms. Inflate through the arms, reaching fingertips up. And as we exhale, just allow the arms to open, the heart and chest to open, and then allow the arms to fall on the floor. You might wish to keep the knees bent, or you might like to straighten the legs out just to open up through the whole front line of the body. Slightly allowing the toes to fan outwards and shutting off the eyes. Completely giving in here, completely surrendering into this final pose for your relaxation. Just begin to send an awareness to that space in your heart center, in your chest. See if you can notice your heart beating. Just bringing that focus and that connection to that simple thing that our heart does every minute of each and every day of our lives. So as you lie here in stillness, in relaxation, feel that connection to yourself, that oneness and connection to your heart.